I once watched an American confidently tell a British professor she was saying English words incorrectly. The professor didn't argue. She just smiled, removed her glasses, and said 6 quiet words that froze the entire room. In 3 seconds, the American went from proud to puzzled to absolutely mortified. And that's when I realized something magical. Want to see what happens when American confidence runs straight into the people who literally created the language? But before we dive in, if you're enjoying these stories of confidence, chaos, and cultural confusion, hit that subscribe button. Join me for utterly chaotic moments from around the world. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next, because here's the wild part. An American will Google something for half a minute, then explain it back to the person who invented it, with full confidence, strong eye contact, and sometimes dramatic hand gestures. Like they've just discovered fire and need to teach the person who's been cooking with it for centuries. It's chaotic. It's bold. And honestly, it's kind of beautiful. Nowhere is this more spectacular than when they try to correct British people about Britain. I'm talking full, well actually, energy. Explaining tea etiquette to someone from Yorkshire. Telling a Londoner they're pronouncing Leicester wrong. It's like explaining swimming to a fish. Or teaching a bird how to fly. The fish just floats there, blinking, thinking, is this really happening? And the bird is already in the sky, wondering how we got here. I've seen this more times than is healthy for one human to witness. Different cities, different people. Same glorious outcome. American confidence meets British passive aggression disguised as politeness. 2 species trying to communicate, except one thinks they're the translator, and the other is calmly waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Because the British don't attack loudly. They smile. They pause. And then they say something absolutely devastating, while sounding perfectly pleasant. I've got stories about pronunciation debates that ended in total silence. Spelling corrections that backfired beautifully. And one man who tried to teach a British person how to make tea using a WikiHow article. I'm pretty sure that British person is still recovering. And there's one story at the end that still makes me laugh. Every time I think about it. A language exchange meetup. A very posh British man, and an American woman who asked him where he learned to speak British English so well. I won't spoil it. Let's just say the confusion reached levels I didn't think were possible between 2 people speaking the same language. Sort of the same language. Technically the same language. And the best part? None of this is mean-spirited. Americans aren't trying to be rude. They genuinely think they're helping. They saw a TikTok. Read a blog. Took 1 linguistics class in college. And now they're ready to educate the world. Even the people who've lived that knowledge their entire lives. It's like discovering water is wet. And sprinting over to tell a fish. The fish knows. But here comes the American anyway. Full of enthusiasm, ready to explain. So buckle up. Because we're diving into the beautiful mess that happens when 2 cultures share a language but not the same relationship with confidence. This is going to be good. So I'm in a coffee shop in Boston with my mate James. Proper British. Grew up in Birmingham. We're just chatting. Drinking coffee. Normal day. And this American guy, at the next table, leans over and inserts himself into our conversation, like he's been invited. Sorry, he says, I couldn't help overhearing. You're saying Birmingham wrong. James doesn't blink. It's Birmingham, the guy continues, like the food, not Birmingham. James calmly replies, Oh, is it now? I already know where this is going. The American nods proudly. Yeah, man. I took a linguistics class. The ham in city names is pronounced like the meat. James takes a slow sip of coffee. Fascinating, he says. And which part of Birmingham are you from? The guy hesitates. Well, I've never been there, but I read about it, and it's definitely ham, not ham. James sets his cup down. Right. I've lived there for 23 years. My entire life. But please, tell me more about my own hometown. The man deflated instantly. Like someone unplugged his confidence. He mumbled something about just trying to help and retreated back to his laptop. I nearly choked on my coffee. James smiled politely and continued the conversation like nothing happened. That's the British way. Destroy someone gently. Smile. Sip tea. Carry on. The violence is implied. The crumpets stay warm. A month later, a lovely American friend decides to teach me proper tea brewing because she did research. She pulls out her phone, shows me a WikiHow article. So, she says, you microwave the water for exactly 2 minutes. I stop moving. I'm sorry, microwave. Yeah. Then add the milk first, steep for 30 seconds, and you're done. Milk first. I feel my soul quietly leaving my body. Here's the thing. If you do that in front of a British person, they will smile. Go home and add you to a list. A very specific list. People who have committed crimes against tea. They will never mention it again. But they will know. And they will always remember what you did. Welcome to British humor. Population, us laughing, you confused, nobody explaining anything. And then there was the work meeting. International team. Very professional. My British colleague writes color in the chat. With a U. An American replies, color asterisk. Like a correction. The British colleague types, sorry. The American, you spelled it wrong. No you. My colleague replies slowly. I'm afraid that's how we spell it in England. You know, where English comes from. The American responds. But we simplified it. It's more logical. We fixed the extra letters. Long pause. Then, you simplified a language that predates your country by 1,000 years. You fixed it. The Zoom call went silent. Someone's cat meowed in Portugal. The American turned off her camera. Then her mic. Then her Zoom. Possibly moved countries. And here's the pattern I noticed. None of them were mean. They were innocent. Helpful. Like golden retrievers with new information. Which somehow made it even funnier. Oh, and the museum. British Museum. Anglo-Saxon artifact. Label. 800 AD. American tourist. I think that's a replica. The real ones would be in better condition. The guide blinks. Sir, it's been underground for 1,200 years. Right, but then the American said something that made me do a double take. Wouldn't they have taken better care of it? It was buried in dirt with worms for over 1,000 years. He nodded slowly, like this was groundbreaking information. I still think it's a replica, he added. Just seems too old to be real. How could something survive that long? The tour guide didn't respond. Didn't mutter excuse me. Didn't continue the tour. She simply walked straight through a staff-only door and vanished. And I thought, wow. That's peak confidence. No. I was wrong. That level of composed, I'm done, was next-level self-care. But honestly, that wasn't even close to the craziest thing. Not even the warm-up. Child's play compared to what happened at the pub quiz. I'm at a British-themed pub in Chicago. Yes, they exist. Yes, it's exactly as strange as it sounds. Red foam booths in the corners. Fish and chips on the menu. A full UK trivia night. My British friend Simon is on our team. He knows everything about British history. Everything. Question pops up. What year was the Battle of Hastings? The American team captain, seated next to us, immediately says, 1776. Simon chokes on his beer. Literally. Coughing. Glass down. Total chaos. I'm sorry, what? Simon manages. The American nods confidently. 1776. That's when the British fought off the invasion. Very important battle. Simon's face is a masterclass in confusion. His brain is struggling to compute how someone could be this confident and this wrong at the same time. Mate. Simon says that's when you fought off us. The American Revolution. The Battle of Hastings was 1066. A completely different millennium. The American squints. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure. I learned this in school. Simon takes a deliberate, very long sip of beer. Mate, I'm from Hastings. The American's face lights up. Oh, cool. Whereabouts? Simon just stares. England. Where the actual battle happened. Where I grew up. Near the battlefield. I visited it about 40 times in school. Perfect pause. Absolute silence. And then the American says it. Ohio? Simon closes his eyes, not out of irritation. Out of reaching some god-tier level of patience. England, he says very slowly. The country. The original Hastings. Before Ohio. Before America. Before anyone could even imagine Ohio. The silence that followed was monumental. You could feel the weight in the room. Energy shifted. Like someone flipped a switch. Here's the kicker. Instead of getting defensive, the guy got genuinely curious. He asked Simon everything. What happened? Who won? Why did it matter? That's the thing about Americans. When they realize they're wrong, most switch instantly into eager student mode. Confidence turns into curiosity in 2 seconds flat. 2 weeks later, house party. British exchange student is complaining about her day. Uses the word knackered. Just a normal British word. Means tired. American girl interrupts. Wait, you mean naked? The British student freezes. No. Tired. Exhausted. Knackered. American shakes her head. But knackered means naked. I saw it on TikTok. That British girl was using it that way. The British student inhales slowly. I've been speaking this language my entire life. Every day since I learned to talk. It means tired. American whispers, uncertain now. Was she actually British? Or was it a Dick Van Dyke accent? Long pause. Replaying the TikTok in her head. I don't want to answer that. She says quietly. Sometimes, the American is actually right. Once, a British guy confidently told an American that aluminium is pronounced alumin-ium, and the American way was wrong. The American just nodded politely. No argument. Mature. Respectful. Later, another British person walks by. Actually, in some regions we do say al-omin. Regional thing. First British guy looks betrayed by his own people. The American just sips coffee. No gloating. No, I told you so. Just nods. Like a true gentleman. Transatlantic harmony achieved. Every day, I started seeing the same pattern. New Americans. New confident corrections. Same chaos. Football versus soccer debates. Biscuit confusion at bakeries. Arguments at theme parks. Same unshakable confidence. Same energy of someone who thinks they've decoded the Da Vinci Code. Except the code is just how British people say words. And here's the thing. They weren't wrong to be confident. Just confident about the wrong things. To the wrong people. At the wrong time. In the wrong hemisphere. My favorite? Bookstore. British linguistics professor. PhD. Actual expert. American guy. That doesn't mean what she thinks. I looked it up on Urban Dictionary. Professor calmly removes her glasses. I literally have a PhD in the evolution of British English profanity. Wrote my dissertation on it. 200 pages on swear words and their origins. 17 books on this subject. Silence. Exquisite. You could feel British ancestors nodding from across the Atlantic, the weight of 1,000 years of language pressed down on that one moment in a Seattle bookstore. Shakespeare stirred. Chaucer rose briefly. Nods of respect all around. Best moment? Pub. American guy starts to correct a British person about football. Stops mid-sentence. Wait. Are you British? Yes. And this is a British thing? Yes. He nods slowly. I was about to correct you, but I'm learning. Growth. The British person, genuinely impressed. Character development, he says. I respect that. First round's on him. They didn't marry, but they became friends. Which is basically a miracle. And nothing, and I mean nothing, tops the language exchange meetup. Picture this. Casual event, community center, people practicing different languages. Spanish speakers chatting with French speakers. Everyone helping everyone out. Really chill, relaxed vibe. And there's this British man, mid-50s. Proper posh accent, having a pleasant conversation with a group learning English. He sounds like he could be narrating a nature documentary. Calm. Proper. Precise. Then an American woman approaches. Smiling, friendly. Your accent is amazing, she says. Where did you learn British English? The British man tilts his head, slightly confused. I'm from Britain, he says. She nods, all excited. Yes, but did you study abroad? Take classes? Because it's so authentic. The man blinks. No, I was born there. I am British. Literally from Britain. She leans in, fascinated. Okay, but your accent, it's almost too perfect. Like years of practice. He speaks slowly, making every word land. It's authentic because I'm from Surrey. I've lived here 52 years. My whole life. Born in a hospital in Surrey. Grew up here. Still live here. She's nodding along, getting more excited. That's dedication. Commitment to the craft. How long exactly? And here's the moment. The perfect, beautiful pause. Where you can see his brain trying to form the simplest answer. My entire life, he repeats. All 52 years, never lived anywhere else. I am British. Her eyes go wide. Wait, you're not American? She actually gasps. Hand to her mouth. Oh my God, you're actually British. Like, for real British. Yes, dear, for real British. I watch his face. Confusion, disbelief, amusement. Finally acceptance. Somebody just asked him where he learned to be from the place he's from. He smiles, pats her shoulder, says yes dear again, and moves on to talk to someone else. Later I ask him how he stays so calm. He looks at me deadpan. This happens weekly. Every week. Someone always asks where I learnt British. Last month. Someone asked if I was doing a Daniel Craig impression. The month before, complimented my dedication to the accent. I'm just from Surrey. I'm just practicing my Spanish. How do you not lose it? I ask. He smiles that perfect British smile. Centuries of practice, dear. We've been handling this since 1776. We're quite good at it now. And it clicked for me. That's the thing happening in all these moments. The confidence isn't the problem. It's actually kind of charming. Like a chaotic, well-meaning golden retriever. Americans grow up thinking their version of English is the default. It's what they hear in movies, TV, and everywhere. They forget other versions existed first. It's not arrogance, not rudeness. It's main character energy, applied to linguistics. They're the protagonist of their own movie. Sometimes forgetting that other people have been living their own stories for centuries. Remember the guy from the coffee shop, the linguistics class guy correcting James about Birmingham? I saw him 3 months later. He wasn't just reading about UK geography. He was teaching it. Could name more cities than I could, knew the counties, the regions, everything. When he saw me, he came over. Apologized for Birmingham. I went down a Wikipedia rabbit hole, he said. 6 hours later I emerged. That's American energy. 0 to expert in one embarrassing conversation. Confidence doesn't mean they won't learn. It means they'll learn enthusiastically after being gently corrected. Instantly flipping from I know everything to tell me everything in one conversation. Watching Americans try to explain Britain to British people. One of my favorite forms of entertainment. Confidence. Confusion. The oh wait moment when reality hits. Comedy gold. Beautiful. Like someone confidently walking into a glass door. You feel bad, but you cannot look away. If you enjoyed watching these disasters unfold, hit that subscribe button. There's plenty more cultural chaos waiting. Stories of Americans in Europe. Australians in America. A Canadian incident I'll never forget. And a very confused argument about spelling and healthcare. Drop a comment. What's the wildest well actually moment you've witnessed? Especially if someone tried to correct you about your own culture. I need to know I'm not alone in collecting these moments like rare coins or Pokemon cards. Cheers. Or as Americans would say, cheers. But pronounced like a sports bar crowd celebrating a goal. Not polite acknowledgement of your existence. Completely different energy. Same word. Different universe. Actually, that's the perfect summary for this entire video. Same language. Different universe. And somehow, we're all just figuring it out as we go.